and a very warm welcome to all of you. We are looking ahead to the second ODI to be played between India and West Indies at the Queen's Park Oval. But I'm sure we've had a very good day as cricket journalists, as sports journalists, as sports fan, as Indian fans, because Neeraj Chopra created history at the World Athletics Championship, and we're still sort of absorbing what has happened in the morning. What an incredible performance by our Olympic gold medalist from Tokyo, and how well did he do despite being under pressure after the foul in the first first attempt, and then two throws that didn't go according to plan. Finally, then you saw him in the fourth throw creating history. He won the silver, and congratulations to Neeraj Chopra for an incredible achievement. We're trying to get him to talk to us. It's very late there in Eugene, so in Oregon, so we will try and get him later in the day or maybe tomorrow. But let's talk about cricket. Yes, it is India versus West Indies, and before the series began, one of the things that we were talking about was how West Indies being ninth on the ODI rankings, India third. There's a huge gap. West Indies haven't done well for a while now. In fact, they're sitting on 6 successive losses, haven't been able to win series. But here came West Indies, a team that took the match right down to the wire. All of us had our hearts beating fast, and we were wondering if, you know, West Indies would win. On the last ball, the match was decided. But what this has done now is that this has given, the first ODI has given India to think about what went wrong with them, especially given that they ended up scoring just 83 in the last 15 overs. Then it is also given the confidence that West Indies needed. So what this now means is that we have an exciting game coming up today. What can we expect today? Let's first talk about the Indian team, and we've got to start with the top 3 and how well they batted. I mean, this is something that we've been talking about. Shikhar Dhawan coming into the series, it was very important for him to do well. Didn't have a very good series against England, but here he came leading from the front, Shikhar Dhawan, and scored 97 of 99 deliveries, just eased himself in. And the reason why he was able to ease himself in was because of Shubman Gill, who was his partner. We'll talk about Shubman Gill, but just let's stay on with Shikhar Dhawan and what this means. What this means now is we were very clear on how the team management believes Shikhar Dhawan to be in their plans for the ODI World Cup next year. What this means is that this series is very important for Shikhar Dhawan, and all the ODI series from here on are important. But this one, given that he is the captain, given that your top players are not there, you don't have Rohit Sharma's, Virat Kohli's, all the others were not there, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, this was important for Shikhar Dhawan, and this would have given him tremendous amount of confidence. Just the way he batted looked good. A brilliant 97. Unfortunate to not get 100, but this just means that he's solidifying his chances for the World Cup every innings from here on. But let's talk about his partner in crime at the other end. Looked the most fluent, Shubman Gill. The other thing being also, I don't know if all of you have been wondering, we were all talking about this before the series began, as to who would be the opening partner for Shikhar Dhawan. And in the build-up, everybody was talking about how it was going to be Ishan Kishan. He's always been someone who's been earmarked to do to be the backup opener for this team. So everybody was wondering why he wasn't given an opportunity. Shubman Gill was given the opportunity. He was asked to open in the first ODIs, and we can expect him to do that again today. But what this also means is, for the team management, now this is about who they want as their backup opener in ODIs, and it looks like it's Shubman Gill. And if you even look at his numbers, how well did he bat? I mean, just to see him being so fluent. We saw Kyle Mayers bat really well, but Shikhar Dhawan, along with Shubman Gill, they stood out, and Shubman Gill specifically was the most fluent. And I think what this means now is that the team very much has him in plans, and if he can bat well from here on in these 3 ODIs, if the opportunity that is given to him, if he can bat well, just like he's done in the first ODI, then I think he is making a strong case for himself to be included in that ODI squad. Okay, but then let's also talk about Shreyas Iyer. It was the top three who scored the runs, because as soon as Shikhar Dhawan got out and these top three went, India were struggling. We'll talk about that also. Well, let's talk about Shreyas Iyer as well. A lot of conversation around how he hasn't been batting well against the short delivery. The world seems to have found out that he's uncomfortable against the short delivery. And we even saw in the first ODI a barrage of short deliveries that he was uncomfortable with. But he would be very happy with the 50 that he scored. What stands out was how the Indian team, with the opening stand of 119, ended up just scoring 307 in their 50 overs. And that is a question that I'm sure they must have discussed. They must have asked about each other, because your middle order failed. And, you know, Suryakumar Yadav, Deepak Hooda, I mean, it was important for them to get runs, but they couldn't. That's something that they'd be talking about. But we've also got to talk a little bit about West Indies and how well they batted. Given that West Indies, just before the series began, Nicholas Pooran was talking about how he wanted his batters to bat 50 overs, and 50 overs they did. Yes, they went right down to the wire. And why he was saying this is because not only had they lost 6 matches in a row, and they even lost the 7th one, he said that he was actually happy with his team was because they were struggling to bat out 50 overs. They were losing matches by huge margins, and so in that sense, in the first ODI, they would have been happy, despite losing the match, that their batters did the job, well, almost did the job for them. Now, what can we expect at the Queen's Park Oval? That's another thing. And if you are watching, do put in your comments to tell us who do you think will do well today for both India and West Indies. Who do you think are the likely playing 11 for India? We'll tell you that as well. So we will take the likely playing 11 as well. But before we get to that, what can we expect from the pitch? Now, it's Queen's Park Oval. All 3 ODIs are being played there. So what does this mean? What did we see from the last pitch? One of the things we saw, it was curious the way the pitch was behaving, because at certain times during the innings, you felt it was easy to bat on, it was flatter, and then towards the end of each innings, you saw things slowing down, ball gripping a bit, something that Shubman Gill in the mid-innings break also spoke about, that he believes the spinners would do well in the second innings as well. So I think one of the things was this about the pitch, that it's flat, but towards the latter part of the innings, it slows down. So power plays become very important. Your top order scoring runs becomes very important. And that's what we got to see from India. The weather prediction then, if you're wondering what is the weather like in Trinidad, Port of Spain, Queen's Park Oval, it seems like the weather is just fine. There is no likelihood of rain, so we can expect a full game. So that's good news for the Indian fans. The other thing being, Queen's Park Oval is one of those venues that Indian team loves, because this is by far the one venue, other than I think in Zimbabwe, Harare Sports Club, which has been the most successful venue for the Indian team. They won 12 of their ODIs here, which is incredible. In fact, I think the last 9 ODIs that India have played here, they won 8 of them, and the one that they didn't win was actually washed out. So India loves playing here. But having said that, we'll also talk about India's bowling. Let's take a look at the likely playing 11, what we can expect. I believe that with the Indian team, they'll go in with the same playing 11. The only difference that one can see is maybe Avish Khan or Arshdeep Singh are given an opportunity in place of Prasidh Krishna. But that's the only change that is likely to happen. The other thing being Sanju Samson. How many of you think that Sanju Samson has been given opportunities at times but hasn't really been able to capitalize on those opportunities? Even in the last game, what he scored, I think 12 of 18 deliveries. Again, every time we see that, he gets off to a good start but isn't able to capitalize on that. The good thing also was that he may not have done well with the bat, but it clearly was one of those brilliant saves from him towards the death overs when, India really were struggling. Is how he saved in the death overs is one of the reasons why India ended up winning that last ball thriller. So at least in that sense, he came good. But this is interesting because Sanju Samson, in place of Ishan Kishan, playing this role of the wicketkeeper, coming at number 5. This hasn't been done before, so that's something that is interesting to watch out for. And I do get a feeling that despite the fact that he didn't score too many runs, with the way Rahul Dravid is, the way he thinks, he wants to give players a long rope, he wants to give everybody an opportunity, but at the same time, give them enough time to feel secure. So in keeping that in mind, I do believe that Sanju Samson will very much be in the likely playing 11, So that's the playing 11. Deepak Hooda, a lot of talk around how Deepak Hooda should be India's number 3 even in ODIs, given how well he batted in the T20 internationals. We all remember the 100 against Ireland, but I think for this Indian team, it's very clear and that they want to go in with Shreyas Iyer. It's got more pedigree. Shreyas Iyer at number 3. Deepak Hooda struggled in the last game, so the spotlight will really be on Deepak Hooda, on Surya Kumar Yadav, how they bat. Also, the other thing, Sanju Samson, I said, but the other thing being Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel, the bowler, hasn't been doing well. He has a niggle, so that's another thing we'll have to. There is still no news on Akshar Patel and whether he is recovered, but that's the other thing that we'll have to watch out for. But Akshar Patel hasn't been that incisive with the ball. He hasn't been doing as well. So that's also, and Ravindra Jadeja would have been their first choice spin all-rounder, but since Ravindra Jadeja is out of the first 2 ODIs, they are going in with Akshar Patel. We have also got to talk a little bit about Shardul Thakur. Again, in the recent times, hasn't been bowling well, but in this game, this would give him and the team management tremendous amount of confidence. How often have we seen Shardul Thakur, Lord Shardul, against the run of play, get you wickets like the way he did against West Indies in the first ODIs, and how crucial was that in India's win? Both the West Indian batsmen, Mayers, was batting well. Then, of course, Shamar Brooks, he was batting well at 46. Both of them in 2 consecutive overs. They got out to Shardul Thakur. Now, a lot of people might even say that this is a bit of a gamble that opposition batsmen take against Shardul Thakur, knowing that they don't want to go against, the likes of Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj, and a lot of other players, and a lot of other Indian bowlers who are very good. But I think yes, he is got this uncanny knack of breaking partnerships just when India needs it. So again, will Shardul Thakur be able to do it in the second ODI? We'll wait and watch out for that. But who do you think will get the maximum number of wickets? Do let us know. Put it in the comment section below. That's it then from us. We have been getting you all the latest from the World Athletics Championships. So, News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to. Also, the West Indies playing 11, likely playing 11. Let's go through that. And I don't see changes. This is in fact the best team that they've got at the moment, and this is also the team that almost won the game. They lost the game by 3 runs. So I think West Indies would want to go in with the same playing 11. It may not be the winning combination, but it is the best combination they have. And eyes will be on Brandon King as well. His batting, he looked very good in the last game, along with Romario Shepherd. We know how aggressive a batsman he can be, and he showed that in the last game, but can he do it again? So that is the playing 11 for West Indies. That's it on this show. News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to for all the latest from the world of sports. We've been covering the World Athletics Championship. So News9 Sports, if you want updates from that, we've got you covered. Subscribe, press the bell notification, the bell icon, and every time we're live, you'll get a notification. That's it. Then have a good Sunday. Goodbye.